Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us for today's webinar. We have with us Tyler Bauer with Cloud at Work. They're the Sage and Micro Accounting endorsed cloud hosting provider. So he's going to take us through some current trends he's seeing and then the benefits of moving your environment to the 100 environment to the cloud, including saving money on upgrades.
All right, great. Thank you so much. And my name is Tyler Bauer. I helped start Cloud at Work. Little background on myself, I've been in the cloud industry for about 15 to 16 years. So before it was called cloud, I guess. Really what my mission is to create an organization that is out to create the best cloud experience for Sage end users and Sage partners. And I want to thank Micro Accounting for giving us this time to talk, and really excited to talk with you today. So what I thought was I could give you a little bit of background on Cloud at Work, how we started, what we did to get to this point, and then I'd like to talk to you a little bit about where we're going and how we're impacting Sage end users and Sage partners. So we started in 2017. And we were founded on the principle of that there was a lot of cloud companies out there who didn't know the Sage application. They were focused on infrastructure, but it's really important to know what applications are living on that infrastructure, both for when you stand up cloud resources, as well as when customers are interacting with those resources and changing and moving and adapting. As well, there were a lot of Sage-focused cloud organizations, but they were not focused on the right things with security, availability, redundancy. And so Cloud at Work was born. We started to create an enterprise cloud experience that pairs with it a Sage-focused driven experience in the cloud. Fast forward to today, we have achieved SOC 2 Type 2 certification. We work with about 800 customers, and we are the only cloud provider certified in US and Canada for all Sage products. So if you've seen marketing go out by Sage around Sage Partner Cloud, Cloud at Work was the trailblazer for that program. So we work directly with Sage in their cloud strategies for 100, 300, X3, HRMS, fixed assets, Sage 500. But today we're going to talk a little bit about 100. Now, some of you who have heard of us before might recognize us just as an organization that drives value for your Sage application in the cloud, and that is not incorrect. When you see future branding from Cloud at Work, you're going to start to hear that solution referenced as VPC at Work or Virtual Private Cloud at Work. And I feel like it's important to let our customers know what is important to us. And we have four main pillars for how we define success. We're out to simplify, reduce, modernize, and increase. All of those things are themes that you'll see today and how we've built our products and built our tech stack to help impact the future of your business. Now, Cloud at Work and VPC at Work, a lot of people ask, well, Tyler, what makes it different from everyone else? What really sets it apart? And the answer is we simplify. And if you look at you as an organization looking to take your Sage environment to, let's say, AWS or Azure, Azure and AWS are fantastic platforms, amazing companies, but they're a blank canvas. And so you need an artist to paint on that canvas. And the second layer would be some type of management company or investment into internal resources to help you deploy, secure, manage, back up, patch, all of those things of that environment. And then what sits on that environment is your publisher, so Sage 100. But most companies aren't just using Sage 100, you're using different third parties and ISVs, different types of reporting tools, different types of time and attendance tools, etc. Right? So that could be as long as 6 or 7 different software publishers just within what we call our Sage ecosystem. And then you have Micro Accounting, who helps bring all of those different things together into a solution for you, the client, to consume. Now, all this seems like every box is checked. However, when you, the client, are actually experiencing your application on the cloud, you're going to have a little bit of a challenge trying to figure out where that problem resides in which layer. And depending on your choice, you could choose correctly, or you could choose incorrectly. And if you choose incorrectly, you're going to have to bring vendors together and try and make all of this thing work. The point that I get very, very heavily from CIOs and CTOs that I'm talking to is they're looking to simplify. We don't want all of these layered solutions in delivering one application or one workload. So at Cloud at Work, we're out to simplify that. We are the cloud platform, and we'll talk about that in a minute. We are the cloud management company. We are directly involved with Sage and working with Sage so we can strategize on what's next and what's coming. We work exclusively with micro accounting through you or to you, so we can deliver a seamless experience that's very, very condensed and very streamlined, so you, the client, can focus on what's important, your business. Now, that's what makes us different, and this is really what sets us apart. So the next question I get is, Tyler, are you built on AWS or are you built on Azure? And the answer is no. Will that be forever and ever? I can't say. Anything is possible. But today, and up until this point, we've been able to deploy our own data centers, our own infrastructure for our customers and build and own our own platform. And what that gives is ultimate control, as well as better SLAs at a more affordable cost than what you can get in AWS or Azure for the same solution. So when we invested millions and millions of dollars, which I'll show you into what in a second, we're doing it so that you get consistency, you get performance, you get redundancy, you get peace of mind. So a few examples there are a big piece that we place on ourselves is our uptime guarantee, which is 99.99%. That equates to about 52 minutes of unscheduled downtime per year. To put it in context, Azure and AWS both are around 99.95 guarantees. So just that little 0.5 actually adds multiple hours to that guarantee, right around 4 hours. So that's our guarantee. And what we've actually been trending at for the past 4 years has been actually 5 nines. So we're down to minutes of unscheduled downtime on the network infrastructure as well as deployment every year for your business. You will not see those types of guarantees as well as performance benchmarks and true ups to your business in any other cloud provider in the world. We have deployed exclusively on tier 4 facilities. We are a 24/7 shop, and I get this question all the time, Tyler, I can't move my Sage 100 to the cloud. We have customizations, or we're using all these third parties, or we're linking to an e-commerce solution. And there are no limitations to moving to our platform. Everything that we build is 100% virtual private. And what that means is we're putting you behind your own firewall and on your own network with all of your own resources to power the growth of your business. This gives you complete flexibility in your application journey, and as well gives you flexibility to change and adapt as you find new ways to improve your business. Now, in this environment, you can be rest assured that your data is taken care of. Every gig of disk that sits in our data center is on pure SSD flash disk, which is very, very high performing disk. Then you have hourly snapshots for 48 hours and daily backups for 30 days, all on separate networks. So you have hourly snapshots, backups in a separate data center on a separate network, where now data resides in 3 different locations. That's to ensure that you're never in a vulnerable position, that you never feel the impact of possibly clicking on a link that you shouldn't have. We can restore your environment within minutes in most cases. As well, we have geodiverse data centers. We handle all the management OS patching as well as updates to the infrastructure. And the the customer has the ability to add disaster recovery capabilities, security wrappers, multi-factor authentication, everything that you need to future-proof your business and check the box for any type of audit or compliance solution that or situation that you're going through. This is a look at some of our data centers. So quick update, we have 2 in Philadelphia, 1 in Dallas, Texas, and another in Barrie, Ontario. All of these facilities are very, very robust and secure. We do not own these physical locations. We are simply tenants in them, and we rent a lot of space, but we own all of the technology and all of the infrastructure in those facilities. This is just a quick look at some of our clients. As I mentioned, we work with about 800 or so clients today. Each one of them has an amazing story, a different reason for coming to the cloud, but certainly all of these customers are very, very much valued by Cloud at Work, and we try every single day to make an impact on each one of our customers' journeys as they move through their cloud journey. So that brings us to kind of the technology environment today and what's next for Cloud at Work. Cloud at Work up until this point, the VPC at Work, Sage Cloud environment is really what's been driving us. And a big proponent of that driving ability is, customers looking at us at different times of their life cycle. A big one is Sage upgrades. So when you're looking at Sage upgrades and how you're going to deploy that new investment of your Sage 100, Cloud at Work is certainly a destination, and we can talk a little bit later about how we're going to help you invest in that process and make that easier for you. But today, the technology environment has never been more complex. You have customers or businesses who have multiple devices. Some of them are on-premise, some of them are in a brick and mortar facility using legacy software, SaaS software, some cloud services, some on-prem. We're using different types of partners and vendors. We're having employees connect in remotely. We have company-owned devices, employee-owned devices. All of these things are influencing the ways that our employees and our customers and our vendors interact with us, and the simplicity or complexity of how we do business. And so at Cloud at Work, we understand this, and we are putting our fingers on the pulse of where all of these things are moving. And so, like many businesses out there, we had to adapt and shift. Our goal is to change the IT consumption model for Sage end users and give you a simple way to consume and make all of these dots connect, not have them all over the place or feel like you're constantly putting on a juggling act to deploy IT, budget for it, as well as secure it. And so when we think about these things, these workforce trends have really helped drive behavior and consumption models. Workers and employees are a key driver and indicator for how we need to change or adapt or grow or even shrink our IT consumption. When you look at some of these stats, they're really shocking, and they're showing that the job force, our employees, are really looking for more freedom. They're looking for better ways to do things. Easier is better. And as well, we want the flexibility to be able to work remotely. We want the ability to at midnight log in and be able to change a protocol or change a procedure or impact a report or edit a dashboard. And all of these things are driving behavior and consumption in technology providers as well. Even just look at where we were working. 15 years ago, 16 years ago, I remember getting my first job at IBM and having a cubicle. I was really proud of my cubicle. We had our little space where we would go every single day and work. And then I got a job at a progressive technology organization out of New York who was VC backed, and we had this office that we just spun up, and we had shared workspace where we went in and we could just plug our laptops into any one spot. Nobody had designated or assigned spots. And actually, for the past 9 years, personally, I've worked from home. Every single employee at Cloud at Work is remote. We do not have a brick and mortar office. We are a 100% remote organization. But the real question is, what's next? What changes after this? And the things that we have to be aware of is that as things change and as habits and policies change, we need to understand that there's four main keys to looking at that. One is security and regulation. These things are changing on a daily basis. New legislation and laws are being pushed. Customers demanding new things from us as a business. And instead of us, being proactive and getting ahead of it, most companies are reacting after the fact, which causes chaos and mistakes. So industry standards, government regulation, IP security, and customer data are becoming very big topics of concern for our customers. Having an elastic workforce, being more flexible through M&A, having short-term or long-term employees being able to access, having vendors or temp employees be able to access securely information. In that remote employee designation, being able to use whatever device or mobile device they want, having field roles and branch workers, having offices spin up in remote locations. All of these things are driving productivity and profits for business. And then as well, being able to utilize legacy applications as well as next gen applications, being able to bring those all together and look at data in a consolidated way, design and engineer a new way of doing things. These are some of the things that are driving not only just customer behavior, but how Cloud at Work needs to shape and mold to impact our goal and mission. But the biggest one by far is cybersecurity. And most of you have probably either been through a scenario or know somebody who has at this point. Security in the past 5 years has compounded at a compounding rate. So much so that, 10 years ago, I can remember cyber insurance companies beginning to release policies, and, it was super affordable. It was something that companies kind of laughed about. They thought, well, what am I going to need a cyber policy for? I make door handles. I'm not going to be targeted. We've all said that to ourselves, if we're being honest. But fast forward to today, every single company has one. And so much so that insurance policy is now dictating technology behavior. If you get hacked and you go to utilize your cyber insurance policy, there's a very good chance that if you didn't have multi-factor authentication in place, your policy is voided. What's next? Are they going to require that organizations can get better rates if they go through compliance or use vendors who have certain regulations like SOC 2 Type 2 in place? It's very likely, because these insurance companies now have a large base of customers who are coming to them looking for a safety net, but still not changing behaviors and how they're prioritizing security in their business. They're feeling like, okay, I'll pay the premium, and if I have an incident, I have a security company, completely unaware of the chaos that can ensue based on these attacks. There's 130 different strains that were detected last year, and 61% of US organizations had an attempt or were affected by ransomware in 23. Crazy, crazy, crazy times that we live in, and certainly is changing the way that we're looking at technology as a whole. This has gotten us to a point of where we're defining the stages of digital maturity. And this is really helping us identify the products and solutions that we're bringing to market and how we're impacting the Sage end user experience. We look at the world really in these 5 buckets. And so we are not in the business of trying to make you move to a new destination. If you're in a certain part of the journey, we want to give you solutions that allow you to digest and ingest these solutions to change the habits and change the mindset of the organization, so you can begin to shift in looking at how that value is certainly impacting tangible dollars in the organization. The first stage of companies that we see, we call server huggers. And server huggers are people or organizations who typically are fully on premise. They're closed to outside thinking, outside ways of thinking. Typically, these organizations have been doing it a certain way for 15 and 20 years. If just real quick, if we're not thinking differently and being curious about different ways of doing things, then we are completely closed off to the lines of assistance and help that can help us in the future. However, there are very few people here today, very few. 5 years ago, there was a lot of doubt in how services and cloud and managed services and security and all these things could help impact really the workflow of the business. Then COVID happened, and it tossed us into a situation of vulnerability, of behavior that we had to support and that we had to, on a dime, make our businesses continue to be profitable and continue to operate. It really shows the ingenuity of the American and Canadian workforce, right? Being able to look at how we can pivot on a dime and still be a successful business. However, IT was very much strained during that period of time, which led to a lot of organizations becoming questioners, curious about how the cloud and how security services and managed services and how all these things can really help move the organization forward and honestly make our lives easier. Today, most infrastructure and hardware and is being bought by the service industry more so than the private market. What that's leading towards is that services is becoming more and more efficient for customers to consume. It's SaaS applications, cloud service providers, different types of utility tools like Microsoft Office 365, a lot of different ways to enhance and simplify and streamline the ways that we're doing business. As well, most of these have security and compliances built in and allow for a turnkey way to move forward. But the biggest thing is questioners are curious, and that's the first step. If we're all not questioners at any point of our business, then we're not doing our business, we're not justifying the technology decision making of our business. There's always better things that are out there, new things to learn, maybe not things to buy just yet, but knowledge is power for sure. The next stage of customers that we have and that we needed to build solutions for are what we call believers. So these are customers who have workloads on the cloud. These are customers who are really narrowing the field of different solutions that they can utilize to move their business forward. And they're beginning to prioritize security, availability, and redundancy of their business and really looking at IT as a revenue driver, as a business enabler, not necessarily a cost center. The fourth are movers. So these are organizations who are really supporting hybrid and remote work. We really feel that there's a plan in place and we're executing on that plan, looking at how we can become more nimble and more agile, how we can really utilize service providers to enable scalability and promote ingenuity and business process within IT. These companies have a plan. They're in the process of executing that plan, and they know that there is an end in sight, but they're not there just yet. And evangelists have already achieved 90% of their vision. They're focused, and their budgeting and their strategy is now focused on 10% of the business ingenuity and change and strategy of where the business is going. Now this organization is ready to really help drive that vision for the business moving forward. If there is some sort of change on a dime, they're prepared. We're ready. There's no hard investment that we're tied into that's not going to allow for that inhale and exhale of where the business needs to go. So everyone's in a different spot. There's no bad place to be. But it was important for me to build an organization or build a solution set at Cloud at Work that could help our customers move along based on their vision, move along these steps. And so the first piece that we had to look at was, well, we need to expand beyond just a cloud platform for Sage. VPC at Work is a phenomenal solution. It provides Sage certainty, if you will, to the investment within the most important part of your business. But when customers are moving to our cloud, they're still left with infrastructure that sits behind, whether it's domain controllers and file servers and different types of workloads. And so we set out to create what we call IaaS at Work, which is infrastructure as a service. And we are using and partnering directly with Microsoft. And so Microsoft is a phenomenal platform in the Azure platform where we can actually build workloads dynamically based on your wallet. So based on the amount of money that you want to spend, we can show you the risk profile for that infrastructure and begin to build services with different types of redundancy, availability, and security based on your business's workflow and profile today. We can help you manage it as well, get you better costing and better resource pricing in Azure that's directly integrated and connected to your Sage application. It's a phenomenal solution, and really the only way that you can experience Azure infrastructure directly integrated with your virtual private cloud for Sage in Cloud at Work. The next piece that we were talking about, I'm sorry, this is a slide on infrastructure as a service, but the next piece that we were talking about was we have desktops, we have people, we have computers, laptops, tablets. We have people that now need to connect to this infrastructure that's in the cloud. And there's got to be a better way to do that. The one of the biggest reasons why companies and executives are experiencing security concerns is because of taking corporate-owned PCs and connecting them on unsecured networks with data and passwords saved on them, different types of policies and protocols that we have that live on these physical machines. These things can break, they can be hacked, they're vulnerable, and really they're inefficient and expensive. We were set out to create a platform that allowed you to experience and connect to your virtual desktop or to your computer, but do that in the cloud through Azure Virtual Desktop. So what that gives you is ease of use, scale, automation, security, and speed. So no longer are you spending $2,000, $3,000 on a physical machine every time you hire an employee or every time an employee wants or needs a new machine. You now can allow them to use their own device. You can buy them or give them a credit to a device that they prefer. You can give them a Chromebook for $200. You could give them a thin terminal. You have a ton of different options to help secure and to rationalize the capital spend that really is variable at any given time based on break or losing something, etc. The other thing it gives you is peace of mind, knowing now that your end users have security wrappers, a Kevlar vest, if you will, around all of your information that's in the cloud. You have access controls, and data can no longer live on physical machines. You have the ability to spin up, spin down access of employees and centrally control essentially your entire IT consumption. As well, once you're in this desktop platform that we call DaaS at Work, all of your managed services are taken care of. So things like printing and how do I do this, or hey, this isn't going the way I planned. Your entire managed service within that platform is taken care of through one source, Cloud at Work. The place that you have your Sage application and the place that you've already moved the rest of your infrastructure, and everything is integrated and consolidated into this very, very clean consumption model. From there, customers have come back to me and said, Tyler, this is great, but I got to still get to this cloud platform. DaaS at Work sounds fantastic, but I still have offices, I still have network gear, I still have employee devices and all of these things. And as well, I have vendors, that different types of internet providers and countless others. I need an IT organization to help us. I need you to help really bring us into the next world that you're building here and make it easy for us to do that. And so Cloud at Work we have the ability to become your entire managed service organization, provide extreme detail and value around the platforms like Office 365 that you're already using, enhance the access methods and vendor management that you already have in place, and really help you clean up and strategize. The other big thing that this provides is it gives you a dedicated strategist to work with you on a daily basis as you move through your plans and really help guide and add and subtract based on your vision where you want to take it. And finally, we needed a very clean way to add a Kevlar vest, if you will, around your whole company. Security is a huge concern. However, I've yet to find a very easy way to consume a security program that comes with threat detection, threat investigation and remediation, comes with proactive response, 24/7 eyes on glass, and a security operations center that's easy to consume. Every company that I've seen is very complicated, to be honest. It's always major projects and spend 10, 20,000 here and you can get this, or hey, we're going to do that. I wanted to create something that was super easy to consume and was very budgetable and predictable with a very extreme outcome. And so that's why we created the XDR security platform. So we're going to go through a sample scenario because the last piece that I always get asked is, Tyler, how much does it cost? However, I want to first do a quick review of the benefit that a customer gets. And so in this example, the company has 6 Sage 100 users and 25 employees. So a pretty average size organization. Well, when you move Sage to the cloud, to VPC at work, you're going to have your 99% uptime guarantee. You have your certified platform for your Sage application and your virtual private data center. You then can virtualize the rest of your infrastructure through Azure, and we can build a custom plan to virtualize that for you. Possibly even integrate that into your Office 365 workload where there'll be no cost to virtualize those workloads for you. Then you have a secure virtual platform to access all these investments in cloud resources securely from anytime, anywhere, with better ROI and increased control and scale. And you have a managed service IT organization to help you, guide you, and to turnkey get you more scalable and more efficient. And then that Kevlar blanket of cybersecurity to build you and guide you from a security stance and get you to a point of protection. So the first piece that we'll look at is virtual private cloud. And really moving your Sage 100 to that cloud is going to be anywhere from $500 to $600 a month. And for that value, you're getting a rock solid platform that gives you pure guarantees around the performance of your Sage 100. To virtualize the rest of this company's infrastructure is roughly about $800 a month. So for $1,300 a month, your entire organization is now virtualized. You have no servers. There are no servers left that you're building. Then to connect in and to have that next level managed service platform, that cloud platform of DaaS at Work, it's $85 a user a month. So multiply that by 25. The company now has a Azure virtual desktop platform, DaaS at Work, paired with it all of the infrastructure virtualized, and an easy way to consume that. Even just stopping here for roughly $3,400 a month, the company has 85 to 90% of their IT, 80% of their IT taken care of. The only piece left for the organization to take care of is securing and managing vendors locally, deploying a security plan for the organization, as well as getting people to this cloud platform. Once you're in the cloud platform, all of those things are taken care of. But for those who still need a solution to get there, for $125 a user a month and as well $40 respectively, you can pair and bolt those things on to make your life super easy and turnkey. In summary, it's sub $300 per user for all of these things. However, I want to be clear, you can buy one of these things, none of these things, all of these things, some of these things. These are all in place to help you and guide you in your digital maturity model. We want to be there to help custom fit these solutions based on what you deem as priority. We have customers who are doing VPC at work and cybersecurity. We have customers who are just doing IaaS with us. We have customers who are just doing managed services with us. It's completely up to you. There's nothing dependent upon one another. But in this investment, you have all of your Sage in a cloud environment, all of their virtualized or all their infrastructure virtualized, all of your desktops and PCs are no longer physical or risk. You have them all in the cloud and supported and secured. You have a security, enhanced security policy around your entire organization and an end-to-end partner for your entire company to come to for not only your Sage experience, but your entire IT consumption experience. This is how we're building Cloud at Work and where we're taking it. So if you're interested in moving your Sage 100 environment to the cloud, please contact your micro accounting account manager directly or contact the team directly. I can tell you that we have major incentives, and Cloud at Work is extremely invested in making sure that if you're in the market for looking at an upgrade for your Sage 100 environment, we want to help pay for that. So if you're looking at upgrading Sage 100 and you want to find out how you can get all of that upgrade or a large portion of that upgrade paid for by Cloud at Work by moving to our cloud, please get in touch with your micro accounting account manager. We're happy and willing to pay for that upgrade. I want to thank everybody for their time and ask if there are any questions that I can help answer.
You go ahead and type your questions in. We do have one here. Let's see. This particular customer is actually ready to upgrade ASAP. So they're asking, if we decide to host, how long would it delay the upgrade?
Okay. Yeah, so there will be no delay in your upgrade. Actually, by moving to Cloud at Work during your upgrade, it is super seamless and easy. You'll continue to run your business on the older version, just as you're doing today. And in the cloud, we'll actually build your Sage infrastructure and do the upgrade side by side outside of production. And then once you've tested it, you've approved it, and you said, yes, I see the benefit, let's go, we'll actually cut over on like a Friday at 4 o'clock in the morning, and come Monday, you'll come back into the office and you'll be on the new version in the cloud without even knowing.
Okay, great. Another question is pricing based on the number of users, on the amount of storage, or something else? And then if we add a user, what happens then?
Yeah, absolutely, great question. So if you look at our pricing model, virtual private cloud, we're very transparent with our pricing here, as well as for infrastructure as a service. Everything is driven not only by users, but resources that you consume. So third parties, transaction volumes, all those things tie into the algorithm that we have to create the absolute optimal cloud resource infrastructure template for you. So this will actually be line itemed out based on resources that you consume. For DaaS at Work, managed services, and cybersecurity services, we wanted to make it super easy for you to consume on a per user basis. So we've actually priced it that way. These are all assumptions based on 6 Sage 100 users, as well as a 25-person company and the infrastructure they're probably consuming. Are there outliers up and down? Absolutely, 100%. But happy to discuss it further for your business if you'd like.
Okay, one last question. Do users need to install software on their computer to access Sage?
No, so we actually have a very unique way of connecting you to your Sage environment. Most companies will give you RDP and you'll have to launch a desktop within a desktop. We actually use published application, which we take it a little bit further. We actually publish a Sage icon right onto your machine, whether that's on a virtual desktop or your own physical desktop. So you get to just click on that icon like you normally would and authenticate it into Sage, and it's running in the background the entire time. Customers love it because it's very, very similar to how they log in today. And as well, you have the flexibility to go into any web browser if you're using a foreign machine or a machine that doesn't have the shortcut installed, and access your Sage that way as well. So a lot of flexibility.